Smiling Friends Season 2 is off to an excellent start, with its first 3 episodes all being hits. Last night's new episode, titled The Boss Finds Love, is a bit controversial, but it's nothing compared to President Frog's history of atrocities. Before we get into this review, please consider subscribing to this page, where I'll be covering all things animated in the adult region. And no, I won't be covering gardening activities, although many of you have asked me to. Just like Glep, I am not a fan. Now let's get into this review.
I can't keep doing this to myself. Something's gotta change, brother.
Although it's the weakest episode of Season 4 thus far, Boss Finds Love has some hilarious and shocking moments. The episode is self-described as the scariest episode of any cartoon ever created, and I can second that. The new episode of Smiling Friends scared me so bad it made me poop my pants. I actually had to pause the episode on Max, throw out my old pants, and change into new ones. Even I, a horror aficionado who runs another channel where I review horror movies. It's called Killjoy Jake, go subscribe. I was so scared I soiled myself. Zach and Michael, y'all owe me some new low-cut jeans. Smiling Friends' absurdist and in-your-face humor is all over this episode, which just like every episode so far, has made the series a hit. Even in episodes like this, where the minor controversy is the big thing everyone is talking about, there's still hilarious moments throughout. If it's the random cardboard cutout lady Charlie just has for some reason, and also we get a jump scare from, the eyeball just watching them in the boss's office, or even whoever the heck Dr. Monster is, all very silly stuff. I love it. Smiling Friends episodes tend to have a smidgen of commentary as well. It's never anything too deep, mostly surface level stuff that ends up driving the absurdity of an episode all the way to 11. The Gwimbly episode, for instance, had a touch of that, discussing stingy game developers. God, now all I can think about is creamed corn. This week, the commentary comes from Brittany, the boss's new wife. It might also come from a certain cameo appearance, but we'll get to that in just a sec. Brittany is clearly a succubus, if it's from her demonic appearance or her jump scare introduction. This is confirmed later in the episode by Pim and Charlie. Something they come across in their research is Brittany's social media that is filled with nothing but positivity and cool hashtags, as Charlie says. When Charlie the Demon Slayer, or I mean Pim, tries to kill Brittany later in the episode with a plastic knife, she admits to her soul sucking but gets offended and jumps out of a window. Right into the garden too. Sorry, Glep. This might feel like a random story, but then again, when isn't Smiling Friends a little random? Come on now. Okay, but seriously, I do think there could be a deeper meaning here when we talk about the cameo appearance. Doug Walker, best known as the Nostalgia Critic, makes a cameo as a demon-slaying YouTuber named Daniel. This is probably the best part of the episode, with all of the YouTube jokes they managed to cram into the space of like 30 seconds. If it's the Dollar Shave Club ad being 95% of the video, or the fact that Charlie finds the video seconds after Pim declares the page revealing how to kill the demon was torn out of the book. I can't tell you how many times YouTube has gotten me out of sticky situations. Some dad in his 40s taught me how to change my oil in my car, and I just saved like $80 doing it myself. Use the internet to your advantage, people. Anyways, the Nostalgia Critic is a bit controversial these days. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Walker reportedly ran a piss-poor ship over on his channel Awesome that supposedly had a harmful work environment. There's also reports that say one of the creators that worked alongside him was a groomer too. The situation is a total mess. And that's just scratching the surface. It makes me think that Smiling Friends was secretly doing a bit on him without the guy knowing, but maybe I shouldn't say that too loud or else Doug will hear me. That's just speculative, of course, but I couldn't help but sense that after learning more about him and then rewatching this episode. Whether that was intentional or not, I find it fascinating. There's also a callback to the last episode of season 1 where Charlie literally dies and has to cheer up Satan. After Brittany dies, the boss declares that he owns 1/4 of hell. And during the post-credit scene, we actually see him and Satan getting into a dispute over territory. I love that Satan and Mr. Frog are like main characters now. I hope to see more of them in the future. Next week's episode is titled Brother's Egg and is about Pim and Charlie helping a dollar store Rick Sanchez create life, presumably from an egg. Also, I'm 90% sure that content creator Joel Haver is featured in the teaser in his usual animation style, so that's freaking sweet. Joel Haver has worked with Justin Roiland before in the past, another creator who had a popular Adult Swim show for a while. Keyword had. It makes me wonder if this next episode will feature commentary on that fella who has also been in the news recently. Considering the similarities between the central character for next week's episode and Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, I don't think that's too wild of an assumption. We'll just have to see next Sunday at midnight. What did you guys think about the latest episode of Smiling Friends, and how do you feel about season 2 thus far? Are you pumped for another episode next week? Leave me something about it in the comments below.